All right, we're going to turn now to Maui, where we are hearing residents make an urgent plea for help tonight, saying they are still struggling to find the basics more than a week after wildfires ravaged the island. And frustration is growing with the government. Locals are asking Governor Josh Green to involve them in any plans for rebuilding and not to bow to developers.
The fire that destroyed much of Lahaina on August 8th was a devastating tragedy. The community is still reeling from the loss, and many people are still displaced from their homes. The governor's plan to rebuild the community must be based on the needs of the people, not the interests of developers.
All this comes as Maui's top emergency management official resigned suddenly following mounting criticism about the lack of warning. No sirens went on as the fires raged. He defended the decision, but residents say a stronger emergency response with sirens could have saved more lives. And residents are frustrated with the pace of the search efforts. The death toll still stands at 111, with more than 1,000 people missing and just 40% of the burn area searched. This growing frustration is what will greet President Biden as he visits the island on Monday. And for more on that, we go to NewsNation Washington correspondent Joe Khalil. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Elizabeth, you're right. It's significant that President Biden is going to be in Maui on Monday. Anytime a president goes to visit a natural disaster site, it's always an important moment. It's one that typically is a warm reception for the president. But what is going to be greeting President Biden there are a number of people who are still in desperate need of the basics. President Biden, fresh off his meeting with Asian allies at Camp David, preparing to fly to Maui Monday to survey the devastating fire damage and meet with survivors.
A lot of people is gonna lift their spirits, saying that, oh, okay, we're important. If the president comes here, we are important, and help is coming our way. And some other people won't care at all.
I'm very hopeful that him coming in will help expedite a lot of products coming in, a lot of supplies that aren't able to make it.
Many in Maui anticipating President Biden's visit with mixed emotions. Some were disappointed in President Biden's initial response when asked about the fires. Others say they're interested to hear what the commander-in-chief has to say, as the island is still in desperate need of help.
We've gone through a lot. We're still looking for family members. But this is important too. Everyone needs to be fed.
Basic necessities like clean water, food, medicines, and other supplies are still not easily accessible for some fire victims who've lost everything. And in addition to resources, many fire victims also want answers.
I think any warning would have been extremely helpful, even if it just got us to come out of our homes and our condos and look around.
Those who felt caught off guard by the fire say local authorities should have given some warning. Thursday, Herman Andaya, head of Maui's Emergency Management Agency, resigned, citing health concerns. But Andaya had come under heavy scrutiny for his decision not to sound warning sirens. Hawaii state senators tell NewsNation it's possible those policies get a real review.
Some of my colleagues and I have requested that when an audit goes through, this will be reviewed by a third-party evaluator to look at all the decisions that were made.
Now, Elizabeth, even as Andaya, that official who resigned, is now giving up his post, he defended the decision to not have any sirens go off. He says people in Maui are conditioned when they hear those sirens to go up to the mountains because they're waiting for tsunamis. He thought the sirens might have prompted people to do that and actually have them head closer to the fire. Still, he is now resigning, and it's not clear at this point who is going to be his replacement for that very important role.
Yeah, there's a lot of controversy over that. Thank you, Joe. Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.